This is a time that I gave someone an ultimatum in my life. So I had just graduated with my master's. I have been with my boyfriend for 5 years. After the third year, I'm like, when are we getting married? What's popping? What he said was that he wanted to be able to provide a home for me as his wife. Just like the dudes on the ultimatum is saying. He's like, I don't have the coin right now. I don't have the money. I want to be able to provide and I can't do that. And me, just like the women on the ultimatum, I was like 24, 25. And I'm like, I got a master's degree. I can buy my own house. I just want to get married. I wasn't listening to him. He wasn't listening to me. So what I said to him after 5 years, in my mind, I've been waiting for this ring. I said, if you don't propose to me, I'm moving to Las Vegas. After I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. No intention. I had no job. I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me. Last day, I was putting my stuff in the car. He came over and helped me put my stuff in the car. And we putting stuff in the trunk. And I just started crying. I'm like, you really going to let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
As much as ladies be like, we got history, I got my master's degree, I ain't got no job though. Don't ever let somebody force you to do something that you don't want to do.
If there ever came a point where I'm in love with my man and he gave me an ultimatum, of course I'm choosing my man. But I would hope that my man would trust me enough to know what kind of woman that I am and I wouldn't go back there or with them.
That ultimatum has to happen with the guy that you're actually in love with because you are keeping him around as an option, 100%.
No, I'm not. Like, genuine, I'm not. And that's the thing, like...
A woman gives ultimatums and ends up homeless is likely part of content often shared within the Mgtow movement, which tends to focus on the idea that men should avoid traditional relationships with women due to perceived risks and societal pressures.
I did give him the ultimatum this time. He was still out doing his tour, so I wasn't seeing him as much. He was like, oh my gosh, I have a girlfriend. I'm so sorry. Like, this whole time we've been flirting, and like, I thought I was basically getting led on the whole time. And I thought this is gonna be
wow.
Yeah. So that hurt. And he usually texts back really quick, but I could see the dots for a while. And he was scrolling back in the messages. He's like, I'm so sorry, I thought I told you that I had a girlfriend now. Because he didn't post about her on social media or anything. So it's like, I just didn't know.
Holy crap.
That was the last red flag I had with him. And it sucks that I had to do this twice. It's like, why do I have to ghost my favorite person? Favorite celebrity, favorite comedian. I haven't been able to watch comedy since then. Like, it's
Smart ruined comedy for you.
Destroyed me. He did. Like, I can't even watch a stand-up comedian.
Doing an ultimatum
is dangerous.
It really is dangerous because, like you said, now you have to follow through with it or your boundaries will mean absolutely nothing in this relationship, and he might view that as, okay, I get to walk all over her.
Yeah, and it also sets up the future scenarios for breakups to be used as a weapon. Well, if you don't do this, I'll leave. Well, if you don't do that, I'll kick you out. Like, yeah, that's a very slippery slope, man. Very slippery slope.
I don't want to compromise my boundary, but I also don't want to break his heart or my own.
So wait a minute. You love him, but not enough. Look, this is, were you about to say something?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, because I'm a tangent.
So you giving the ultimatum is not what's going to be breaking your guys' heart. It is his lack of discipline to have a job and contribute.
Right.
Your ultimatum is a aftershock of his earthquake.
Mgtow advocates argue that modern relationships can be dangerous or unfair to men, especially when women are seen as manipulating or using ultimatums to control men in relationships. In this particular example, the story likely serves to highlight the consequences of such behavior.
My friend's boyfriend, this is a good one, has not proposed to her after dating for years. She's asking me if it's a good idea to give him an ultimatum by saying, like, look, you have to make your decision or else.
Well, for somebody who kind of just proposed and forced my husband to marry me, I would actually say just have the conversation.
Like what would
transparency?
Describe how it would go.
I think communication is everything. I think you say, look, this is what I want. This is sort of where I see us. Are you on the same page? If not, I have no time to waste. What do you think?
I think that that's exactly right.
Because I feel like in life, you know, if you want something, you have to go and get it. I don't know. I feel tradition is real. But, you know, I think nowadays, luckily, if we have the power and the decision to make our own choices, we should do that.
Little pieces of paper paper. Little flimsy pieces of paper can break and end something that's so strong in somebody's heart. It's hard. I'll get through, but I'm sharing my journey with you guys, just so you know that you're not alone, and you guys make me feel not alone.
Through a divorce, and I was staying with a friend because I didn't have a place to stay, and that was 4 months ago that I've been staying there, and I no longer have a place to stay, and I've been looking for a while. Some of you know and some of you don't that I have a lot of medical issues. I've had 33 surgeries, so I desperately need to keep my insurance. Anyways, yeah, I'm not asking for money. I'm not one of those people. I don't ask for help. I'm ridiculously stubborn. Ridiculously stubborn. I think I'm just trying to figure out if anyone has advice or guidance on what you do in this situation.
The woman, by giving ultimatums, whether they involve marriage, living arrangements, or other significant decisions, could be seen as creating a situation that forces someone into a corner. If the ultimatum backfires, as in this case leading to homelessness, it can be framed as an extreme consequence of a power struggle or a breakdown in the relationship dynamic.
So after I cheated on my husband, I gave him a hall pass. But here's the reason why I did that. Is because I didn't want to take the responsibility of getting rid of all demons that I opened up my marriage to. And usually this is what people do when they cheat. They want their spouse to cheat on them back. So it would give them a reason to feel better in some way. But let me tell you, that's the wrong way to do it. It's the wrong way to go about it, because at the end of the day, you make matters worse.
And even though I knew that that option was put forth in front of me, I knew that wasn't the right choice.
Yeah.
That's not the way that we try to rebuild a marriage. If you want to stay in a marriage that's still on a downfall and just ride it out downhill, that's up to you if you want to make that choice. But I was not about to make that same choice if I know I also have another option of getting back in the face of God, praying for my marriage, praying for my wife, and trying to do the things and correct the wrongs that we had that led us into that position.
The Mgtow community might use this story as an illustration of why men should avoid such risks altogether, stressing the importance of independence and autonomy from what they perceive as a system that often doesn't favor men in relationships. It's a way to show how personal choices, particularly when it comes to emotional or financial investments in relationships, can result in negative outcomes if the power dynamics are skewed. While some may view these types of stories as a cautionary tale, others might see them as overly exaggerated or one-sided.
As a single mom, would you say that having a daughter has made your dating life harder?
Oh, absolutely. Not everyone wants to be a stepdad. And so that circles back to the question, why am I single? Is probably because of that.
So why are men less likely to want to take on another woman's child that isn't their own?
It's a whole nother responsibility that they didn't sign up for.
So do you think you have a better chance dating a guy who also has a child of his own?
Yeah, I think they're more open-minded, but I'm on the same boat where I also don't want to take on the responsibility of another kid. So I understand it. That's why I'm not upset about it.
So for your future partner, how would you want his relationship to be with your baby daddy?
Accepting, friendly, and civil.
Should you all be able to go out and get lunch together if need be?
I wouldn't want that for myself, but I wouldn't want constantly having to go and hear about fights and break them up.
Overall, the narrative reflects the broader themes in Mgtow philosophy, which warns against becoming too invested in relationships that could lead to personal or financial harm. The focus is typically on men protecting themselves from what they see as a potentially hostile or manipulative environment in modern relationships. And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.